Sisters of the shining moon, heaven, earth, and sea, I call upon you in this hour, bring magic unto me. Brothers, oh, the cauldron cries, it singeth unto me songs of Mother Goddess and the Father in the tree.
Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we are off adventuring into the spaces between. And we're being broadcast live tonight on Truth Frequency Radio, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and TalkStream Live. And if you're listening in on YouTube, make sure you do hit that like and subscribe button so I know you're there. Likes, yes, I like the likes. And subscribe if you need notifications for when I'm going to be live. Just saying. Now, no matter how you are listening to me, do make sure you stop in and say hello, either in chat or you can also email me at wildpaisley@gmail.com. That's WILDEPAISLUY@gmail.com. And, no matter how you are listening to me, if you want to support the show, please do so. It's Etsy store is www.etsy.com/shop/Monarch Mountain Studio. And you can also check out the Patreon. And that is at patreon.com/the-spaces-between. So, yes. I hope y'all are having just a lovely evening. Or day, or morning, or wherever it is where you're at. As the moon is almost completely waned, if you will. And so tonight we're talking about the moon. Why not? Why not? Hi, Suzanne. The phone lines are open if you wanted to call in tonight. That's 213-233-3998. Or if you're across the pond in the UK, by all means, drop me a line. It's 44203-393-2871. So I hope you guys are... Let's see. What do we got going on? We got all sorts of people chatting away here. We've got Aussie Tiger, Dawn, Elaine, Ethan, MCAT, Many Musings, Nessie, Suzanne, and Titan. So hello. If you're listening and haven't said hello, well, hi anyways. And then off in... TFR, I see Lawrence and Ruthie, both of you. Hello. I hope you guys are doing good. So yes, talking about the moon tonight. Tomorrow night is the new moon officially, and it's a good time to be setting your intentions and such. So let's talk about the moon. Often the new moon is called the dark moon. Did you know that? If you didn't, you do now. So the dark moon is also another way, another name, I suppose, for the waning crescent moon. So when the So the moon is divided into 30 different segments, roughly, scientifically, I guess. And so Greeks did it. The Babylonians did it. Um, Other races and cultures have done it, divided the 30 segments, so there's all these different phases. Anyways, when there is no moon, they call it the dark moon. Pretty straightforward and direct, and there's all sorts of different phases of the moon. There's the new moon, first quarter full moon, last quarter dark moon. And so I'm just going to go over some random factoids here. Yes, I'm pretty sure Crow does know a lot about the moon. He should, anyway. So should Naysay, actually. Hi, Nessie. Not sure what the nun's all about, but yes. Oh, moon water. Yes, so during the full moon, normally we take a bottle of water, kind of like this one for you on YouTube World, except for this is my water bottle that I'm drinking water. Hi, Brent. Water's good. And you can charge water with the energy of the moon, and often that water is good for certain workings. And because it's considered blessed by the moon. Now, occasionally you need the opposite energy, and I don't mean sun energy, I mean opposite of the full moon, you need the dark moon. The dark moon or the new moon is often, the moon in general is often associated with Hecate and other various goddesses, but generally, Hecate is kind of the big one, or the moon goddess herself, depending on how you want to look at it. So, if you put water out tonight to be blessed by the new moon, or tomorrow night, I should say new moon, often that water can be used in different ways in your rituals and your spell castings and stuff. And I don't know, depending on where the time goes, maybe we will talk about it, but we'll get there. So real basically, different phases of the moon are really good for different castings and rituals and such. And hi, Brent. And some things you need to set your water, your ritual, your intention with a full moon or the new moon, or maybe different months, different official moons. Like the last one was the snow moon, and or sometimes we have a blue moon or red moon. And yes, Titan, there are some different properties with the different phases, and if I don't get into it tonight, we will pick it up next week, I promise. And we'll talk about dreams next weekend too. So there. You don't necessarily, want to put some stuff off. So, because some rituals require, working now. So that's part of the reason why you'd want to charge your water for for healing, for instance. You may want to have some water or crystals charged with the waxing moon rather than the waning moon, so you can help focus your intent to help there. But I guess we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's just start. Think of the moon as like a clock, and it may not moving clockwise. It's often going counterclockwise or widdershins. And so the first part of the moon is considered the new moon or the dark moon. So it's the very first cycle, and that's when the moon is generally positioned between the sun and Earth at 12 o'clock. And so from Earth, the sun and the moon appear to be in the same part of the sky and will rise and set almost exactly together, almost exactly. And sometimes when the night is very clear and you are someplace where there is not a lot of light pollution, you can often see the outline of the moon. Not always, but sometimes. Or it's like a very faint line. And it's just the light of the sun being refracted off of the Earth and then back out to the moon. Excuse me. And as the days pass, the moon grows, and it is waxing or gaining in size and dimension. And so, as it grows, the first quarter is just really that, is the first quarter of the moon. So the moon sits about 9 o'clock, and there's math involved. We're not talking about math. Even though math is supposedly the universal language, not doing it tonight because my brain is not there. Um, anyways, mostly the moon can be seen during both the daylight and the night hours, or afternoon. So, and then it just continues getting bigger and bigger. So the waxing gibbous, instead of waxing crescent. So it's going from the crescent to the gibbous, moving on towards the full moon. And so when the full moon reaches the 6 o'clock position, it's full. And so this is the side of the moon that faces Earth. It's just fully illuminated. You can see it. It's bright. I love doing stuff by the light of the full moon. It's just, there's so much energy there. Sometimes I can't sleep. Sometimes I have the most stupendous dreams. And some of them are just downright bizarre. I mean, the moon can do funny things to you too. Anybody who has worked in the medical field or in customer service, you know that a full moon does goofy things to many people. So as the moon goes from full and is getting smaller, it's waning, we're getting smaller. The third quarter moon sits at 3 o'clock on the phase dial, and it's the position to the Earth has changed. So it's rising, trying to remember. The rising and setting is opposite of what it was in the first part of the month, is the 28-day cycle. So yeah, we're just kind of glossing over here. And then the dark moon, just before the moon starts to grow again, that's considered the dark moon. So, and often the sun may or not, or the moon may or may not pick up any of that light, but it could. But it's just, I don't know, it often feels darkest. The energy, I don't know if you've ever been outside with the moon full and bright, the energy just feels different than when it isn't. I mean, seriously, it just feels different. I don't know how else to put it. Sometimes it's a good different, sometimes it's a bad different. Kind of it's your own interpretation a little bit, because life happens to us at different speeds, different rates, different times, and unfortunately, craps doesn't always pick the waning moon to happen or the waxing moon. So, yes, Paisley, I would love, or Titan, I would love to just bask in the moonlight. Absolutely. I've done that. I've just gone out and sat in the moonlight. I've done some rituals at night where I'm just outside on a blanket soaking up the moonlight because I needed that energy. I needed that charge directly to help me focus or recenter my own personal balance. So Ethan wants to know if my religion views the moon as a magic source. That's complicated because I don't really see it as a religion. I have issues with religion. It's too formalized. A lot of dogma there. I see it more as a spirituality. Yeah, I think I respect the moon. I revere the moon. I think there's definitely some energy there that you can call upon. So I don't know that I would call it a magic source. I would call it more of an energy source, Ethan. Just because sometimes you need that different energy. It's funny. So much of today, what we call science. 100 years ago, 200 years ago, it would have been called magic. I mean, hello, the cell phones, we can talk to anybody, just, um, uh, you know, push a few buttons and, swipe, swipe left. And, you can reach just about anybody. And so today, as we look at something as magic, it could mean that in 200 years or so, more or less, you never know, it'll be science, it'll be fact. So I think it's just energy, but the moon is definitely representative of a spiritual energy. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know. Did that help you, Ethan? I hope so. Um, yeah, I don't necessarily consider it a religion. No. Um, yeah. We do call it magic. Yeah. Phones are magic. Bleep bloop. So the new moon, if you're going to work with the phase of the moon for different things, new moon is often a good time for personal growth, healing, blessing, starting new projects, or beginning new adventures. It is often considered a time to cleanse or consecrate new tools or objects that you might use for rituals, or ceremonies, or maybe an upcoming festival or something like that. I know that there are times I will have a tool or something that time out. Titan, this is not moon water. It is water from a well. It is just good old-fashioned well water. It's good stuff. Apparently, Don Longbeard is the only one who drinks moon water that I know, by accident. I do have some that I will take a sip of occasionally, but mostly I am watering Groot or some of my other plants with it, or doing some other rituals with it. By the way, update on Groot. He shed his leaves, and we've got new growth. And so when his new leaves are fully out, I will take a picture and put it up for everybody. But no, I don't. I could drink moon water because I generally use glass jars or glass bottles to store it in. Elaine, I'm not quite sure what Don is up to yet. I'm sure he will make an appearance just like he generally does. But I don't know. We'll see. I don't know what he's doing. So anyways, I personally have tools for different things that I might make or create throughout the month that I want different blessings on or different consecrations. And so I will put them away and until the right phase of the moon to get them out and cleanse them or charge them. So during the first quarter of the moon, it's often used for attraction magic. So like inner love spells, like love yourself, be more accepting of self. I mean, honestly, if you stop and think about it, love spells. If you don't love you, why would you make someone else want to love you? Ask yourself that. So, work on yourself. Often that is the first step to finding love elsewhere. Just saying. So if you're protection for couples or healing energy for couples, so if you're doing like couples therapy, often if you're starting it, starting that couples therapy or group therapy, whatever, starting in that first quarter of the moon is good for you. And whatever it is you want to attract for yourself and on your path, the first quarter of the moon is just a really good time to work on it and focus on it. The full moon is really good for banishing unwanted things and unwanted influences in your life. So you're shining a light, if you will, on challenges or issues. Let's see. So MCAT wants to know if when you're charging moon water, is it the moon or your intentions that charge the water? I personally feel it's a bit of both, really truly. In part because oh, many musings, you're funny. I'll come back to that. Um, because you're putting your intention into the act, and often, you know, getting ready to do moon water, or setting up for moon water, there's a little bit of a ritual to it in and of itself. I mean, sure, you can just go grab a bottle and fill it up at the faucet. But if you live in town, often it's chlorinated and it's got chemicals in it, so you may want to pre-treat it or do other things to prep that water. Um, so it's more energetically charged or accepts the energy of the moon better. Sometimes you want your moon water to have other things in it, whether it's salts or crystals or other herbs or oils or things. We'll leave it at things. The other stuff, because that stuff, it could be just about anything. And so the ritual of putting those things into a container and setting it out for the blessing of the moon or the dark moon. Yeah, so there's a bit of both. Because I think the moon is charging the water, but also your intention is charging the water. So a combination, both. Yes. So many musings. You say I should put my knowledge in a book, and you would buy it. That's so cool. Thank you. Honestly, it's something I've been working on. I drive a lot to get back and forth to work, and so there's a lot of time for me to do. I'll basically talk to myself, kind of like I'm doing here, but without the live studio audience. And so I need to transcribe my voice notes and put them into some sort of sense. And so yeah, it's something I want to try to get accomplished this year. Is take my meanderings and my thoughts and put them to print and get them published. So we shall see. It'll be fun and scary because yes, that's what it is. So, anyways, back to the full moon. So, think of it as shining a light on an issue or a problem. So, if you're trying to find something that you want to get rid of, it's a good time to do that, to release those old patterns, those old habits, you know, magical meanderings. Oh, I like it. You know, if you're doing your deep clean, often it's a good time to do it during the full moon to clean out that negative energy. If you're going to do sage your house, or just oh, my brain just shut down. Yeah, lots of stuff in my head. I can't think of anything. Yeah, smudge your house. You know, the full moon's a good time to do it because you're flushing that energy out. Thank you, Bummer. So you can start, 3 days prior to the rise of the full moon and the night of the full moon, and then also 3 days after. So you get a window to get something accomplished. Speaking of, there is an old wives' tale that for the first people, the Native Americans, the tribal folks, the reason why they have such glorious hair, because they do, is traditionally they would only trim it during the light of the full moon, because of the energy that was inherent with the moon. So I don't know how much truth there is to that, but I just think it's super interesting. So moving on, the last quarter, the waning moon is, going from the full moon where you're trying to just flush stuff out, you're actually banishing and rejecting those negative things. Whether it's emotions, diseases, ailments, bad habits, it's just a good time to kind of flush that stuff out and banish it. So you may set your intentions earlier in the month, but when we're getting to the waning quarter, it is definitely, just telling it to get the heck out. You've already served notice that stuff's being evicted, and it's just time to move on. And that's what you need. So during the dark moon, of course, there is no light. So it's 3 days prior to the new moon, and it's the shortest phase of the moon, by the way. Um, some traditions really feel that this is a time of rest, and you should do no ritual work or magic type work as just a time to give yourself a break, and replenish your own inner energies. Often it's a good time for meditation or vision quests, astral projection, that kind of thing. However, again, depending on your path and your tradition, the opposite could be true. This may be a time to do a lot more of your workings and take that break during the full moon. So, don't be afraid to stop and do self-care at any point when you need it. I mean, seriously, truly. If you don't do the self-care, it doesn't really matter what you're trying to do. You cannot pour water from an empty cup. You have to take care of yourself. Don't forget that. So, lunar eclipse, because you know what? As moon water on an energy vampire. Yeah, you can. Often they don't know what's going on, and I don't know that I would throw a water balloon at them, although that might make them really go away. Yeah, I know some people have, and this is something I have done, is I often have a little pot of just standard lotion on my desk. It's just pretty, no scent, just plain lotion. My hands get really dry during the winter. And often I will put a little bit of intent in the pot, because I get a big bottle because I'm cheap. And I will put it and I'll put it in a little pot and refill it. And sometimes I'll put moon water in there. And it's that intent, it's like, hey, I'm protecting myself, not just, my skin because I'm putting lotion on. But yeah, you're putting that moon water, I'm rubbing it into my hands also to protect myself from any negative energies that I might be coming into contact with. Just that layer of protection. And just, it's just kind of a visualization it is a, oh shoot, we'll be right back. It's a break already. Snuck up on me. All right, be right back, you guys.
Brothers of the shining moon, heaven, earth, and sea, I call upon you in this hour, bring magic unto me. Brothers, oh, the cauldron cries, it singeth unto me songs of Mother Goddess and the Father in the tree.
Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we are all off adventuring into the spaces between. So, hello. Thanks for joining. And just a quick reminder, call line is open. It's 213-233-3998.
Kiwi fruit tastes like bananas.
And strawberries.
Bananas.
And strawberries.
Bananas.
Both. So both, yeah.
Anyhow, so you were talking about full moon?
I got past that. I was going to move into Lunar Eclipse.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So, Lunar Eclipse, yeah. So, basically, in case you don't know, a lunar eclipse is when the moon passes into the outer shadow of the Earth.
Mm-hmm. Because the Earth is flat.
Yes.
Sorry.
Anyways, sorry. Now, a lunar eclipse does not happen every year; it just happens often, every so often, and it's considered a very magical night. Often, and there's a lot of meaning involved with lunar eclipses. Now, some traditions do absolutely zero magical work or rituals during this time because it's just a way for them for those on that path to honor the goddess in just a specific ritual for that purpose. Others, it's a way to really supercharge other things, or because there's a lot of energy. So I have a bottle of moon water from the last lunar eclipse that we had that was on.
It tasted wonderful.
It's in a different bottle.
Oh.
And it's in a tequila bottle, actually.
It's right up there.
Yes. So yeah, lunar eclipse and spring equinox all at the same time. So it was a very busy evening, and so that to me is very special water. I use it for very special things, specific things. So, anyways, you just want to coordinate your rituals, your spells, and time it with the duration of the eclipse.
Mm-hmm.
A blue moon. So a blue moon happens when two full moons happen in the same calendar month. I'm not sure what. I don't even want to know what you're
Just
laughing
keep
at.
talking.
Okay. So the moon phase is generally, everybody assumes it's 28 days. No, actually it is 29 and a half. So generally there's only one full moon every month, but every so often there will be two full moons in a single month, and it occurs about every 2.5 years. So blue moon doesn't actually look different. It's not blue. Seriously.
It just simply means that it happens once in a blue moon.
Yeah,
that's where that saying came from. It happens once in a great while.
Yeah, and actually once in a blue moon, that term has been used for centuries now. It's been around for a while, and there's a couple different legends or origins and such regarding the blue moon. There's some that the second full moon contains the knowledge of the grandmother goddess or the crone, and so then it contains all of the energy or the threefold energy in that moon. So the blue moon is considered to be associated with all three aspects of the goddess: the mother, the maiden, the mother, and the crone, and also the three natures of self: the mind, body, and spirit. So now, of course, Christianity did pick up on this and says, "Oh no, the blue moon is associated with the Trinity, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit." So, they have to get their toes wet in the moon water also. So, but and many traditions just generally do associate the moon with the energy of the goddess, the waxing, waning, the waxing full and waning, or the maiden, the mother, and the crown. I don't know what you're doing over there. Why are you laughing?
Because you're talking about the waxing and waning of the mother of the crow.
I'm gonna throw a rock at you. So yes, often the energy of the divine is seen as the crone aspect of the goddess. So, and yeah, you're just weird. So the red blood moon, so is generally considered the hunter's moon in October. So just so and it came around, or the name originated because that's the light of the moon. The hunters would track their place to the hunter's moon, to stockpile food for the winter ahead. And so okay, the all the moon phases, the full moons, have different names, and it does vary a little bit from tradition to tradition. And they just do. But anyways, with the blood moon, it's generally associated with the autumn equinox. So that would be in October in the northern hemisphere.
I don't think she can lift the damn thing. It weighs like 30 pounds.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah, Bomber, it's huge and it's heavy, and if I dropped it on my foot, I would break my foot. Like, a lot. It's huge and heavy and glorious. I keep meaning to bring it down here and put it in front of me so you guys could see it, but it'd be distracting. I'd want to just stare at it.
She wants to touch it.
Yes, I do all the time.
With her moon water lotion hands.
Yes, I'm going to throw a rock at you. I'm a pagan. I have lots of rocks on me at any given time. She's such a dork. So, yes, in the northern hemisphere, fall is in October. So the September moon is the fruit moon. November's the beaver moon. But generally, the blood moon is associated with the equinox. So during the blood moon, it generally symbolizes the hunting, gathering of food, and preparing for the cold winter months. It's a way of time to honor the harvest and hunting gods and goddesses. So there's a lot of festivals during that time. Part of the reason why Thanksgiving is in the fall, actually. There are different rituals, of course, that happen during this time of year that have, something to do with the fall and the harvest. A blood moon eclipse, which is pretty rare. Pretty rare. Trying to see here. How rare? I wrote it down. It's like every 30 years or so.
30 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's pretty rare. It just extra energy. Kind of like the equinox and my brain is shutting off. Apparently, I needed coffee before I came down here.
Solstices?
Yeah, the solstice, the equinox, and the. Jeez, oh Pete.
Autumn? Summer?
Eclipse. Anyways, so yeah, there's just different energy with all of them. Do your research. I can't tell y'all, but anyways, the blood moon, yeah, a lot of energy, generally with the fall. So there. Now, some people say that you garden specifically, do specific planting and such. Hey, Woods Wizard, how you doing? Some people garden by the moon. Planting during the water signs, transplanting or grafting when the moon enters Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. The constellations, or that part of the astrology. Zodiac, yes. I'm not a zodiac person. I'm a Libra, but that's about all I know. What are you?
Me?
Yeah. I should know this. I don't know this.
You should know this. I'm a Capricorn.
Oh, you're a goat. It's the beard.
It's better than an ass.
It's a billy goat beard. No. It's
What was I reading the other day? It was a meme that somebody put up, and it had the 12. Oh, it was the zodiac according to like mythical creatures or something, and mine, the Capricorn was the Phoenix.
the phoenix. That would be better than a goat.
Gosh, I'm getting beat up today.
I don't know what to tell you. So, cleaning out your shed, your shop, that kind of thing during the Virgo moon is good. Mending your fences during a Capricorn moon is good.
Haha.
Weeding, um, weeding, plowing when the moon moves into Aries, Gemini, Leo, Sagittarius, or Aquarius. It's a good time to inspect your plants for pets. Yes, Ruthie, goats are hard workers. I actually like goats.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not allowed to have goats,
No,
but I think goats are awesome.
no.
They are awesome. Pruning is done best during Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. So in some, hey, Ruthie just gave you a compliment there. Capricorns are grounded.
Yes.
So if you're pruning or trimming back your trees and such, during Aries or Leo or Sagittarius is good, especially in a waxing moon. Ironically, it says if you're going to garden, don't make any major decisions when the moon is in Libra. Which I thought this was hilarious. It is because Libras see both sides of the equation, so it's often hard to make a decision. So, anyways, um, I don't know. Do you notice a difference in the full moon or the new moon or anything like that there, Don?
I don't know. I'm kind of no, I don't think I do. I mean, energy wise or anything like that. I'm fairly see, that's part of the reason I do the show with Brent, the Paranormal Portal, is to further that journey of mine. So, maybe to open myself to the different things. And I notice other people, but I don't notice it myself. Does that
Okay.
make sense? I know when other people are going to be crazy.
Okay. I guess that makes sense, yeah. Um, do you why do you or what do you notice most, I guess, or what tells you that they're going to be crazy? Is it full moon, new
Well,
moon,
no,
or
I just think it has to do with just the full moon and the new moon. And there's always something. There always seems to be something that goes along with that. Whether it be other people, being extra charged up, or whatever. The animals acting weird. Maybe that's what I notice, but I don't notice really anything with me personally. That might have something to do with being a Capricorn. I don't know. I don't know, but I've always never really. I've never really. Well, I say this all the time on our shows. I've never really. I don't believe I've ever had a paranormal experience, a supernatural experience. So, and I've never noticed anything weird or wacky in that subject. And in this case, I don't associate good luck, bad luck with moon phases. I just don't. I'm ambivalent to a lot of that kind of stuff.
and you're on a paranormal show?
Yeah, that's why I'm on the paranormal show. That's why I do good there.
You're the grounded one?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Okay. That's interesting. It's very interesting. Okay. I think there's a lot of difference. But
Okay.
for at least one night during the full moon cycle, I have insomnia.
Oh,
Horribly bad. It's frustrating.
yeah.
So something dark moon energy work is a good time, or dark moon is a really good time to do shadow work.
You neglected to mention what shadow moon is.
A dark moon?
Dark moon, whatever.
Yeah, it's a new moon, dark moon.
Oh, okay.
We talked about that at the very beginning.
I was driving. I have a 12-mile drive between the studio and my studio. That studio and this studio.
MCAT, you're right. Skeptics do keep us honest. But often, apparently, they need to be. That spiritual baseball bat needs to be a little firmer sometimes, I think.
As opposed to beating with a wet noodle.
Yeah, apparently, yeah. So, I personally think that you have had a paranormal experience.
Oh?
Yeah. I know there's at least one ghost in this studio area.
That's great.
You've experienced it. You just haven't noticed it.
Well, that would be me not experiencing a paranormal event.
No, I think it was there. I think you just, I don't know. I don't think you are looking for it. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
I think you're a weirdo. Get out of my studio. Oh, I'm far from dull, Suzanne. I'm far from dull.
I'm gonna throw a rock at you. So, anyways, so shadow work. Shadow work is something that's often, I've mentioned it every so often. If you don't know what it is, it's kind of working on yourself, inner.
Lower my boo filter.
Boo filter. That's awesome.
That's good, man.
Many musings. I like that.
She wins the chat.
Yeah. You need a shirt that says boo filter.
I'll see what I can do.
New definition for BF.
Anyhow, back to your show.
Yeah, I know. That was hilarious. So shadow work is very important. It's work on self, work on your inner self. I don't know how else to say, just your inner self. Whether it's stresses that you have, therapy that you might need, or anything like that. It's an opportunity to work on self. And if you don't work or do shadow work, often that baggage that we tend to carry around, it just keeps getting heavier and heavier. And so it's a way of doing self-care and working on self. So during the new moon or the dark moon, that's a really great time to do that shadow work, because the moon is in shadow. And since you're looking inward instead of outward, you're often able to have a greater insight and greater objectivity to who you are as a person and your own motivations as you're working through whatever those issues are. And it's, I don't know, I think shadow work's really important. I really do. I think it should be used in conjunction with therapy. If you need therapy, maybe you do, maybe you don't. Maybe you just need I'm not even gonna look. Even if you don't need therapy, shadow work is good just to let some of that stuff go. Because it goes back to that self-care. You can't. I'm going to say this probably more than once in the next couple weeks, because it's kind of on my brain of late. Is you cannot pour water from an empty cup, so you have to take care of yourself. It's very, very easy to help other people fix their problems and focus on their problems, because you can see how easy it is to fix their issues and help them. But often it's hard to really look at ourselves and see what it is we need to fix within ourselves. And so shadow work is really good for us, because we look inside to see, what we need to do to fix or to let go of. So yes. Let's see, divination. Often if you're doing divination during the dark moon or new moon, the energy is different. So if you're really trying to focus on different answers, or if you have a harder question, often asking it in the new moon will get you a different answer than during the full moon. So if your reading isn't clear during one phase of the moon, wait, re-ask maybe in a different way after cleansing your deck, and um, do it in a different phase of the moon. So let's see, what else do I want to talk about? Bum, bum, bum. It's funny, the thing when I research stuff, there's so many random things that come up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hashtag this and hashtag that. I Google Dark Moon and I get Darth Vader references. I'm not
Really?
sure. Yeah, I'm not sure quite why. It's just very bizarre to me. Scrying is something that people do often during the new moon or dark moon, just because it's, again, you're inward looking. I don't know. I've got mixed feelings on scrying, so I haven't gotten there yet. I'm not doing it yet. I am working with the crystal ball, which has been kind of fun and interesting and freaky all at the same time. So, but yeah. Anyways, so yeah. No, that's pretty much all I had on the moon, just without going into a lot of details. But yeah, many musings. It does kind of all flow together. That energy ebbs and flows, just like the tides on the ocean. You know, it ebbs and flows. Okay, Deb. It does not surprise me that Deb does mirror scrying. Deb is awesome.
Deb is awesome.
That's just all there is to it. So
I didn't know she did mirror scrying though.
yep. I know she'll do tarot sometimes if someone's being very difficult. So
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
yep. She probably does tarot if she has to do a reading for you.
What's that?
She probably has to use the tarot cards to
No, she doesn't.
for
Because
readings for you.
No, she doesn't.
No?
Because my guides like to tattle on me. They like to make sure that I've been not watching them lately. So
You know, your spirit guides probably do a lot of facepalm.
they probably want to quit. they're like, you can't quit. You're the last ones. This is a no quit job. Oh well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So speaking of my spirit guides, Deb told me my spirit guides was one of them was an older man. He's a venter, and another man. What was he? I think like a businessman. You know, like a CEO type. I think it was. And then a woman. And the woman seemed to be like the balance between the two. The balance between those two and me. She's the one that taps on the shoulder going, you're doing it wrong. Go figure.
I totally understand the vintner. You do like a little bit of wine.
Just a bit.
Just a bit.
I like my vino.
And then the CEO, actually not surprised by that either. You're kind of a take charge kind of a person.
Yeah, that's because I'm a Capricorn.
I remember seeing this GIF on Facebook not too long ago about some horned creature ramming into a door and then running off like a
that
little
was
punk.
funny. That was funny. That big old mountain goat.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
So just charging in where you're pushing the door instead of pulling it.
Did you notice how they ran away like, oh God, we're going to get caught?
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Oh, that's funny.
That was actually pretty funny.
So, those are my guides. Apparently, they really like to talk, even the old man, the venter.
It's because he's drunk.
Yeah, he's like, oh, tell that fool to stop it. I'm sure that's him. But those are my guides according to Deb. So, but no, I didn't know she did mirror scrying, and I really didn't know she did tarot. I knew I thought she did like a regular card read. You know, not like tarot cards, but like poker card reads.
I think she uses several tools depending on what is needed. So, yeah. And your inner feminine side. It's that way you have the long flowing beard. It's your inner feminine side trying to get the luscious locks.
I don't know.
Ah,
Beards are cool, mullets are not.
I have seen a picture of you with a mullet.
That was also the 80s. That was the last picture of me in high school.
Oh, I'll have to find that and post it somewhere.
No.
So everybody, that's the show for the night.
Wow.
So hi, yeah, it's quick hour. It really was. The break snuck up right up on me.
Yeah,
Just
I heard
boop.
that. Yeah.
Surprise. So, yeah, next weekend we will talk about dreams. It'll give me a week to prep a little bit more because I've talked about them briefly in the past, but I think the biggest thing I talk about when it comes to dreams, use a journal. Dream journals.
Mhm.
They're important. So,
Mhm.
if you have any dreams between now and next weekend, maybe we'll talk about them. So, anyways, have a good night, all. Merry meet and merry part and merry meet again. And see you next weekend. And Ken's next.
Good night. Yeah, no,
Who's next?
Duke.
Duke's
Duke's next. World Bigfoot Radio.
Yep. All right. Have a good night, you guys.
Spell forever.